This time on Hobby Journeys, we'll be doing part 2 of our review on Warhammer this year from April to August.
Hello.
Hi.
So this time on Hobby Journeys, we're continuing our review of the year 2023. We got up to the end of March in the last last edition or something. So this time we're going to be continuing from April onwards, looking at the year in Warhammer. So all the releases, what was going on, all the things that were happening. So in April, the big release was Arx of Omen the Lion. So it was revealed at Adepticon that last month, March, that we were going to be having a new model, a new Patriarch, which was Lionel Johnson. So he was accompanying the final of the Arx of Omen series of books. These were a series of books leading a bit of a narrative series that would be released through the early half of 2023. They were leading us into the story with the release of the new edition. So 10th edition we were coming up to. We knew about this at this stage, and this was just leading us into it. So we had this new model, Lionel Johnson. It is a seriously big model, this one. What do you think of the Lion, Matthew?
I would prefer if the cape was black, but you could just do that yourself, couldn't you?
Yeah, you can paint it whatever colour you like. I think this is a really great model.
Yeah, I like it.
I think he's good. I like the pose. He looks dynamic, striding forward. I like the
He's got
little
good posture.
Yeah, I like the little acolyte guys. They're cool as well, holding his sword scabbard and stuff. I think it's a really great model. I think they've really done him justice. I do, I could do an Archangel's armor.
I think it would have been cool if the Blood Angels had turned to Chaos, because it kind of would have made more sense.
Well, as an argument, the Dark Angels did,
Not Dark Angels, Blood Angels.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the Dark Angels, half of them did go over to Chaos during the Horus Heresy.
I kind of wish that the Primarch went as well.
Dear, well,
the whole thing.
Maybe he did. I mean, it's a whole thing. There's a whole thing there.
Like, who, if you could swap the Blood Angels into the Chaos, who would you swap them with? Like, who do you think wouldn't really fit in Chaos?
I don't know. I think all the Chaos ones are pretty chaosy.
No, like before everyone rebelled and things, everyone turned to Chaos.
Yeah.
Who out of the ones that turned to Chaos, who was the ones that wouldn't really fit being Chaos that went to Chaos?
Well, I think probably Tzanich's lot, so the Thousand Suns, because Magnus didn't really turn. He got sort of a bit stitched up, really. So, yeah, maybe them.
So I would swap them with those.
Yeah.
But they do kind of sound a bit chaosy as well, though, don't they?
Do you mean the Dark Angels or the Blood Angels?
Blood Angels.
You mean the Blood Angels, so not these guys.
Oh.
These are Dark Angels.
I thought they were Blood Angels.
No, these. So Lionel Johnson is the Primarch of the Dark Angels.
I thought it was
So they wear green armour.
So who's the one of the the Red Angels?
The Blood Angels.
Yeah.
So that's Sanguinius.
Oh.
He was the angel guy. He died in the Horus Heresy. He got killed by Horus.
I think he would probably be fit as a Chaos.
You think? Well, maybe. Anyway, so let's move on. So this was the big release in April. There wasn't that much else going in for 40k. There was a bit more information dripping through about the new edition. As well as that, though, we had Seraphon.
Big fat green guy.
Yeah, you like this guy, don't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, we had there was a new range released for the Seraphon at this time. So at this point, we had an army box released, and this is fairly typical for the way that they go about it. So you'll normally get an army box which has a set number of things, and anyone who's really excited will go out and buy that big money costing thing, and then a bit later they'll release individual sets. But at this stage we got so we had the Seraphon army book along with dinosaurs riding dinosaurs. I think they're skinks on dinosaurs, and then some of these big lizard guys. So they were quite a good release at the time. So we had this guy,
The big fat chunky guy.
Yeah, I do like that model. I didn't notice this little guy crouched on the side of him
I
either,
didn't.
looking after him. Yeah, little skink fella. And then it comes with these guys. So these dinosaurs, skinks on dinosaurs, and a few new lizard men. So we had that as well. I mean, that was quite a big one. I think you were a big fan at the time, weren't you? Quite into the new Seraphon. Yeah.
I don't know, like Seraphon. I just like the big chunky guy.
Yeah. So in May. So, May and June, basically, there wasn't a lot released apart from we had Leviathan, which was the launch box that was coming along with the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. So most of May we just had build-up information about it. So in May we got to see the models that were coming in the new release. So first of all, the Space Marines.
And we got the trailer, didn't we?
Yes, we had the trailer for the new release. So, they showed us what we were getting. So these new Terminators, which were exciting. So with this Terminator captain.
How excited, when you first heard that Terminators were going to be in it, how excited were you?
Really exciting, because I'm a big fan of Terminators. That's my era of releases, is when the Terminators came out. I was about your age when Terminators first came out. They're very much my thing. So we had the captain. Good model, that. Good model. I did mine with the helmet on, personally.
Just like I could have gotten this for my birthday.
You could have done.
Didn't.
You didn't. Well, you didn't need to be paying early, and I think that's the only thing you'd have got, so you didn't.
True.
So, yeah, Librarian.
What's a librarian?
Librarian.
You said librarian.
Whatever. We have this
A bear that lies.
Lieutenant. Good model. I like that model. Apoco 3 in Terminator armour. Oh no, Gravis armour, so it's in Gravis armour. Still not built him. I mean, I haven't finished painting
You were
any of
really
these.
excited for him. Every miniature this guy's excited for, he never ends up painting.
Well, I did get all these Terminators half painted, so we're normal Terminators.
You haven't even finished the Terminators.
Oh yeah, they are just sat here. I mean,
They have been
I
there
think
since you got them.
they are at least base coated.
True.
I mean, but I've got like 2 colours on them. Some of them 3 colours. Who would have thought?
I mean, on some of them, they haven't even been taken off the screw.
No.
And even been off.
Oh yeah, well, it was basically I got as far as the Terminators and got stuck into Tyranids. I did finish the
Scream
quite
Killer.
Killer. Oh yeah, I'm moving along with the Tyranids.
Yeah.
Stern Guard Veterans, I like these. These were good. Yeah, we like the Stern Guard Veterans. Infernus troops, Infernus squad. Yeah,
They were alright.
and this big ballistas dreadnought.
Yeah, the one that you
like I was saying in the last episode. It's just a bit too shooty. I quite like the balance. I quite like them to have a bit of balance. And he's just a bit too
I would
shooty.
probably get rid of that one, but that one's probably more likely for killing big guys.
I think what I'd probably quite happily do was to get the Brutus Dreadnought and stick the missile launcher on him, and then get the other claw and put that on this side. So you'd have a bit of a mix between the two.
You know what I would do?
What's that?
Put the missile launcher on top,
Yeah.
then put another one of them there.
Put another las cannon on.
Yeah.
So don't you just go for extra missileage? Is that what you're saying?
No. Missileage on there.
That's
like
what I mean.
Same one.
So missiles and more las cannons, basically. That's what you're thinking.
Same missiles but more las cannons.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you
Yeah,
get another
yeah.
las cannon on the side,
Yeah,
and missile launcher on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yep, yeah, I think that works. Yeah, also we had Tyranids released in the box. So we had Screamer Killer. There he is, yeah, that's him. That's the fella. Love that model. It's the only thing I've finished painting so far, out of this box. But
I just realised that guy's having a free dinner there.
he's going to cream through those Space Marines, isn't he? Absolutely cream through them. Yeah, the Neurotyrant.
That guy looks like every time he eats something, his brain gets bigger. Like
Yeah,
every time
well-
he eats a Space Marine.
Well, it's possible it happens. Yeah, entirely possible.
and
Yeah,
then
I do
these
like
ones
this guy.
haven't had time to eat much
They're
yet.
basically, these are babies that haven't eaten as many Space Marines yet. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
And
Okay,
then
fair
this
enough.
one is really big, chunky, and big brain and
he's
eating a lot.
feasted on a whole load of Space Marines, hasn't he?
Yeah, he may have even eaten a whole Titan while he
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah, but yeah, I like that model as well. Neurotyrants, not so keen on. They're alright.
I know, I don't like them.
Might paint them at some point. Winged Tyranid
It's
Prime,
alright, it's
not
alright.
not massively into. I think I said before, because these got their individual releases quite recently. I think I said at the time.
Yeah.
I prefer if he was actually flying. Actually, the fact he just looks silly because he's on ground. He should be flying. But there's Vulnerine Leapers. I like these.
I like
these. Like those. Termagants. I
like
love the Termagants.
I like them.
Love the Termagants.
It's weird
okay.
how for your chapter you've got Terminators.
Yeah.
And some big alien guys. It's very strange.
No, they're not in my chapter. I'm painting them
Why are they
separately.
in your colours then?
They're not. They're different colours. They're red with bone-coloured armour that I'm painting for the Tyranids. Look, I'll show you.
They look the
So
exact same.
these guys are red with bone armour. These guys are bone armoured with bits of red. Completely different.
I told you this guy needs mental help. I've told you since the start of this channel.
There was the Psychophage. I like that model. I think that's good. I
only like the big
might
teeth.
do that next.
I don't like the top of him. He looks like a big factory.
Yeah, well, it does a bit. Anyway, that's what we had in the Leviathan box. And that was most of May and June were all about this. Lots and lots of stuff going on with this. There were bits of bats released for other things, but most of what we saw was the Leviathan box. And that basically dominated all of May and June.
July.
So, coming on to July. You were just doing it as well.
Yeah, to annoy you.
Yeah.
I was showing that how annoying it is.
So first up in July, we had the 40k launch boxes put out, so starter sets. So these are basically subsets of the miniatures that are in Leviathan. These are basically just smaller box sets that people can buy just to learn the rules, basically. So this introductory set, just with a few Termagants.
No rules added with Leviathan? Oh, like new movement things?
They completely changed the rules. We've not played it yet, actually, have we? We haven't played 10th edition rules yet, so we'll probably have a go at that at some point. But yes, these starter sets are really meant for... Basically, Leviathan was like a one-off purchase, so that was only released that once, and once it was gone, it was gone.
You can't buy it anymore?
Well, to be honest, I think they made so many of them. There's loads of them out there still, so I think you can still get it. But the idea was that for the duration of over the next 3 years, while we have 10th edition, you've got these starter sets. So different sizes. So we've got the introductory set just with a few miniatures, some paints as well, though, for painting. So this is just for really getting into the hobby.
Remember when you were doing this for me on number 9?
Yeah.
You were getting me all the starter sets. You were helping me with it all when we're doing number 9.
Yeah.
And look at me now.
Yeah.
I know the game.
You do.
I actually know what I'm doing.
You do. You're really coming on, and that's part of the point of this channel, really. It's watching your development at playing the games, but that's why we started to branch out a bit.
I just realised how big that guy is.
The Psychophage.
Look at that compared to that.
It's a big miniature. It's a Psychophage, really big miniature. So that's the starter set, and then you've got the ultimate starter set, which has got even more stuff. Very similar, actually, but it's
terrain.
Yeah, you got Terminator Captain in there, but these are targeted at your new starters. They come with a handbook with the rules in, those sort of things. I think they're a good idea, and I embrace this message. But yeah, so we had those coming out in July. We also, in AOS, we had Dawnbringers. So Dawnbringers is the start of a series, a bit similar to the Arcs of Omen books that we were seeing for 40k. We were seeing Dawnbringers for AOS. So this is more about some more lore, basically. They did release some characters along with this at the same time, so we did see a few characters. But so this launched in July. We also saw a preview. This was the not 40k preview. In this, we had the first sight of the Cities of Sigmar, so we got the first look at this, which is a new range. So what these were originally were, when they launched Age of Sigmar, all the factions of sort of order, so good, so dwarves, elves, empire, etc., they got lumped in with all together, so you can make those armies with a bit of a mix and match approach. We now have a proper range for the Cities of Sigmar, so we've got a range for them. And they were first announced at the Not Warhammer 40,000 preview that was in July. We also saw, this was exciting for me, Legions Imperialis. So, yeah, I know. This was released. So this is basically, I mean, if you go back a few years back, we had Epic, which was little lickies, ickle, small tanks and stuff.
Ickle.
Yeah, ickle, little ickle ones. Yeah, so with this, there we go, that's the box. So the idea is this is a bit of a follow-up to it. It's also a bit of a continuation of Titan Legions, which was released a few years back. It's actually twice the size of Epic, so the Epic miniatures were were even smaller still. These are a bit bigger, but it's a continuation of that and Imperialis, Autonatus, something like that. They're the ones with all flying stuff. So again, it's basically the same scale, but this is adding in tanks and infantry, so we have a bit of a more larger scale game now with some bigger miniatures in there. So this is quite cool. Not being released yet, but this was the first sight of that we got. There was a lot of build up along the way to it, so we got a lot of articles just dropping hints around it, explaining things around it. But we'll get more into the miniatures when we get to the release of this. At the end of the month, so at the end of July, we also had a Warhammer preview. This was based upon people had to sort of, when they bought Leviathan, they could upload their battle report scores and tell you who was winning. And the idea was the winner would get all their new miniatures previewed first. The Tyranids won, and we got a bit of a look at this stage at the Tyranid miniatures. So we had a few new things.
We'll look at Termagants.
We'll look at them a bit more detail when we get to the actual release of the miniatures. So that takes us into August. August.
Every time you do that, I will slap you on the hand.
So in August, yeah, we had a few bits and pieces. So we had key things. Cerastus Knight Lancer. So this is a big miniature. This was released this month. Big miniature for the Horus Heresy. Big scale miniature. What do you think of this guy?
I like the actual thing. Yeah. I just don't understand what that is. It's supposed to be a shield.
I think it's an energy shield though. So I think the idea is it projects like an energy field.
Oh.
Yeah, and you can't shoot through it or whatever, or you can't hit through it with a sword or whatever.
So literally, you just break in physics.
Well, the idea is he's like a knight with like a lance and a shield, basically, like a proper like medieval knight.
Lancer like this.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what he is. Yeah. Anyway, so there was that one. Then we had the release box for Cities of Sigmar. So this had
Sigma.
So this is the first release for Cities of Sigmar. It's not the full range. We got some more stuff later on. But these guys, what we had with these guys was we had these Cavaliers. So to distinguish them from, because we've got the old world coming in, we'd seen bits and pieces, and we'd now seen by this stage some of the Bretonnians coming out. To distinguish them, none of these are like lance knights. They're very much knights they've got hammers and maces and flails. They're a bit different. So just give a bit of a different ethos to what we were going to be seeing in the old world. Then some infantry with them. Generals and so on. Guy with a head in a box, that thing. Nothing that's exciting. I actually think the better stuff for these guys came a bit later on. But we had this box set. This came out in August, so that was interesting. And then towards the end of the month, we had the reveals of the Space Marines that were going to be coming out later, with the separate releases. So we got to see some Assault Marines, some new Terminators, some command miniatures. We'll look at them in a bit more detail when we get to the separate releases later on though. So that was the releases from April through to August. So in the next edition we'll wrap up to the end of the year. So I think the big one there was Leviathan. I mean, that's pretty much dominated the year, didn't it really, Matthew? So what have we got to say to the viewers, Matthew?
I want you to like and subscribe, and that's a demand.
I do too.
I'm demanding you to.
Bye.
Bye.